Avec Innobahn, on peut vraiment se montrer en tant que petite entreprise.
Innobahn nous fournit deux choses importantes. On apprend à pitcher à un client et on apprend à ajuster notre proposition à un besoin qui est formulé par un client.
The Innobahn Challenge has given startups the opportunity to interact with bigger problems coming from bigger companies.
On se centre sur un besoin précis d'une entreprise puis de voir, moi, comment je peux répondre à ce besoin-là. Je trouve que c'est très motivant dans la démarche parce qu'on sait le pourquoi, le sens de la démarche qu'on est en train de faire. C'est ce qui est au centre de la table.
C'est vraiment une belle expérience parce que ça permet de brasser beaucoup de choses puis ça brasse du stress, mais c'est bon d'avoir un stress parce que c'est ça qui fait avancer.
There you go.
Innobahn!
Alors, j'invite M. Cédric Orvoine, vice-président ressources humaines et communication chez Ubisoft, à venir sur scène. Dans ce bloc, nous avons 3 startups. And the first one is CityParking, and I would like to invite Amin Dada to join me on stage and make his pitch.
Hello everybody, my name is Amin Dada and I'm the founder of CityParking. The sharing economy brings many solutions to us. But when it comes to parking, we can all agree we are still looking for free parking, spending precious time and gas. We are looking for parking meters that are not there, and there's not enough parking lots which are cheap to use. Yet, when you go around driving, you'll see empty spots in different driveways, office buildings, or gas stations that you could have used. And that's why our solution focuses both on drivers and spot owners. As a spot owner, you can rent your parking by the hour to Ubisoft employees who can then book it for any calendar date, avoiding the parking battle and canceling their parking and getting money back for the hours they did not use. So our solution brings on-demand parking at your fingertips at cheaper prices than local meters, and as we grow, we create additional spots in the city. With this pilot, we want to prove that on-demand parking can motivate drivers to park outside of congested areas and use local transport to get to their destinations. So you'll be able to park around Ubisoft and also on metro stations between Berry and Cremazie, and close to bus lines that run every 10 minutes. So when Bob leaves his house, he can actually park his car 5 minutes away from the metro stations or bus stations, reach his work in 11 to 25 minutes while reading his email. We believe this is a better solution because drivers can leave their house with a peace of mind knowing there's a parking waiting for them. They can book, cancel, and renew based on their personal needs. Also, spot owners are in complete control of their driveway. So it's their spot when they want, cash when they don't. There's less cars in the neighborhood, and we completely cut 10% of carbon emission coming from cars looking for parking and burning gas, and a bit more because some of the journey was done through metro and bus. The city can learn from parking demand and behavior how to improve transportation, and we can learn how to export this model outside of Montreal and to different cities. The pilot will run for 84 days, and Ubisoft will get the drivers, we will get the parking spots, and on conclusion, we'll decide if this is a viable solution or not. CityParking has already knocked on 40 doors behind Ubisoft, and 35 driveway owners are already interested. We expect Ubisoft to help us create a diverse sample and a control group and give access to Metro cards. Some of the metrics we'll be looking at would be parking hours booked, average commute time, driver and spot owner sentiments, and issues resolved. On a macro level, we'll be understanding parking demand and behavior and impact on carbon emission, also the amount of time, money, and gas saved. And we'll compare the results with control group to see if this is a solution and perceived as one as well. We have a strong SaaS platform to track and manage all of this, which helps managing the logistics of shared inventory. The external tools we have help gauging retention, engagement, and growth. And to execute, we have a strong team. I've led product and strategy for startups, and in my previous startup, I had 10 million users and we processed $1 billion of customers' revenue. The team together brings over 10 years of expertise from government projects, shared economy, and fintech. Our business advisor is a serial entrepreneur from Montreal and a technical one from Google, and we have investors who are there to help us. So in summary, this pilot comes at a perfect time for us to prove that we can solve parking and improve transportation. Thank you so much, and I'm open for questions.
Is it just me, or do we all feel like there's going to be new regulations against ride sharing? But all kidding aside, if this is as popular as, there's other cities that do this and it can become super popular, and specifically for Ubisoft, how are you going to assure that they maintain a certain number of spots? Because there are certainly many more cars coming into the city than there are parking spots available, even if you open up, everybody's private spots. So how are you going to assure that certain customers have privileged access, or will you not?
Well, for Ubisoft in this pilot, we can actually help do that. We can isolate these spots and not show it to our regular users, and Ubisoft employees can basically access them. It's fine. This is very doable. What we actually want to prove is that you can park behind Ubisoft and around Ubisoft, but will drivers actually park away from Ubisoft? Will they take metros and buses to come to work? Will that 11 to 25 minutes be good for them?
Okay, let me just be a little bit more specific. Are you going after a B2C, sort of direct-to-consumer model? That's your long-term plan? Or do you have a corporate strategy that says, look, we're going to reserve 30 spots, for these companies if they pay us an extra amount? So it's really just a question of finding out, is it pure B2C or is there a B2B play here?
No, we are doing a B2B play as well, because we are activating parking for businesses as well. And imagine going to a restaurant, having a parking there for you, or spending at a merchant and they give you a promo code and they pay for your parking. Same thing with corporate parking. So yeah, we have peer-to-peer, B2C, and then also parking for event management and other models.
One of the criteria that was set out by Ubisoft was to reduce the environmental footprint. As I understand it, your idea still targets drivers of cars that are coming onto the island of Montreal. Do you think the reduction of, I think 10% is what you expected in CO2 emissions, is enough to be able to convince a Ubisoft to use your solution?
On that point, we have to look at a few things. There is 10% decrease in carbon emission per vehicle. There's also a decrease because some part of your journey is now in transit. And I think the biggest thing we are doing here is we are breaking a mental barrier. It's really hard for drivers to leave their driving seat and sit in a bus or a metro. When we break that mental barrier, they will start opening themselves up to transit options. And it's just not coming to work. They'll be going to different places, and they will use the solution in other areas apart from the 9-to-5 routine or evenings and weekends.
What's the cost for a driver to leave his car?
$2 an hour.
$2 an hour?
$2 an hour, and that's for Montreal. We always try to aim to be cheaper than local meters.
Okay.
What happens if somebody reserves a parking spot and you pay for 2 hours, the owner is not there, he's at work and everything, and he stays there the whole day? How do you monitor?
So let's assume a use case where someone goes, books it for 2 hours, and the owner is not there, and he or she overstays. The effect will be that someone else who's coming in will have to press the report problem button, and the moment they do it, our platform will alert us. We can flip their parking to any other driveway around them. They can call the driveway owner, and for the spot owners, we also have the ability to take away cars through towing.
Thank you. That's all the time that we have.
I'm going to start with CityParking. Thanks a lot for your presentation. It was great. I want to kind of maybe start with the tough questions and piggyback on one of the questions that you had. Is the impression I had from your presentation is that you would be adding car to the area, basically, or adding to the traffic of the area. I don't know if you heard about the mayor of the borough. Yeah. That's not really in line with his philosophy. Can you expand a little bit on how that solution maybe help us in terms of not necessarily adding to the traffic, but maybe more adding? Yeah, exactly.
Well, first on that note, there actually is more traffic created when drivers come into an area thinking there is parking. So free parking is actually a bane, not a benefit, and that's proven by research. So when drivers know exactly where they are going, they cruise around less, creating less traffic in the area. So the reason why we've reached at that point where there's more cars in the neighborhood because there's no more place to host these cars, I'm creating additional space. Not only that, that additional space is created is more of a ripple effect. It's coming on different neighborhoods and away from Ubisoft too. So on that note, if drivers park 2 metro stations away from Ubisoft and take that metro stop and that walk, I think it's still less car in that neighborhood. And as you grow further apart, there's less and less and less cars. And even if carpooling is there, you've got 900 employees who are driving to work. Put 3 in a car, you still have 300 parking spot needs, right? And that still needs a parking solution. And what I'm bringing is underutilized spots into the market to even out the game. So.
And the last question to you, $2 an hour times 8 hours, let's say, per day, that's $16. The parking, there's like daily parking for $8 an hour in the area. How can you compete with that?
Well, the difference is that that $8 parking is limited and will stay limited, and it'll take much more time to create that. In fact, meters in Montreal have gone down in numbers. So what I'm doing is, yes, it's $2 an hour, but I'm creating more spots, and those spots you're booking in advance. Those meters, you got to rush to them and fight for them. So I feel that's a bit of a benefit. And
Thank you. Thanks to you as well, Biz Share.